kids 20 years from now may be hard to re-release your game. Much like the arcade game, I'm having a very difficult time doing this game justice, mainly because I have so many fond memories of each that I could talk about this game for over an hour. In all fairness, the arcade game totally pwns this with graphics and sound. However, I enjoyed the NES game better than the original arcade game because 1, I didn't need to spend lots of money to play it. 2, I could spend quality time with my father. 3, it was the Ninja Turtles on the NES for Pete's sake, come on! 4, it was just really a fun NES game and a well-made game at that. Even though I ranted just a little bit about not being able to switch between the turtles, I love the fact that once you did have to continue, the game lets you keep your high score. In later games, we know as soon as you have to continue, your score goes back to 0. Not in this game. This makes it a breeze to get more points and in turn earn more guys. This game is insanely difficult, but that doesn't mean it isn't fun. Some of you may remember the Game Genie, and this game worked really well with it. One of the codes I remember the most was one-hit kills. In fact, I had a song made up when I was little, and it goes something like this. P-E-X-T-K-Z-Z-E, bash that foot soldier in the knee. Thank yous, Game Genie. I know, you guys hate it when I sing, but get over it! Anyway, this game was great and all, but it wouldn't have been fun if the gameplay was, well, terrible. See, back in my day, developers made sure the controls worked perfectly before the game would release. However, sprite flickering or slowing frames wasn't an uncommon feature in NES games. But even so, if that happened, the game still played great. Whereas today, this has been reversed. Developers spend 100% of their time making sure the game looks awesome, and maybe 40% of the time making sure the gameplay is solid. Ouch. Well, actually, maybe 20% looking at Turtles in Time Reshelled. I really don't want to review that game. Curse you, Turtles Month! Who came up with this idea anyway? Oh, right, it was my wife. Great idea, hun! Swag and myself have originally disagreed with the whole jump kick in Turtles 2. I still think it's way better in both Manhattan Project and Turtles in Time, but for sake of argument's sake, I'll look at it more objectively. See, the jump attack is actually necessary to take on 2 foot soldiers at a time in this game, and weaken them so you can get a one-hit kill off. You also need it to avoid the rock generals, and the fight against Shredder, the jump attack is heavily relied upon. Without it, Shredder is just gonna smack you around with a sword, and then he's gonna shrink you with his whatever's powers. So there, Swag, I agree with you a little bit. Lastly, the greatest thing about the NES game is the co-op. Even though it's not 4-player, the game is so insanely fun. Even almost 20 years later, this game is a blast to play. K-Wife and I enjoyed playing through this game numerous times, as you can tell, but her schedule didn't permit her to do a co-op review for this game. Although in the coming episodes, you will hear a lot of what she has to say for like Manhattan Project, Turtles in Time, and some other games. It seems these days that co-op games are just very limited, but back during the golden age, they owned. Well gosh, look at the time. It's time for us to wrap this up, folks. Wow. As you can see, Turtles 2 may not be as flashy as the arcade game, but for me, it'll always be a little bit better. Still, this game isn't without its shortcomings. Kids like me of the Nintendo Power days and Nintendo Hotline remember how hard this game was, and your cries have not fallen on deaf ears. Not to say I won't be deaf in 20 years from playing drums for 17 years, but that's beside the point! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 has okay 8-bit graphics, excellent gameplay, awesome music, decent sound effects, 2 new stages, hard as all get out, and it has fun co-op. So K-Wing Reviews gives TMNT 2 for the NES a 7 out of 10. Not too shabby, but all the itch surrounding its failed re-release has me still very miffed at Konami. They should take a page from LucasArts' book because Zombies Ate My Neighbor was worth its long re-release. But at least it was re-released. Too many Konami Turtle classics are going to be well forgotten and grow cobwebs because they'll never be re-released. Now that Nickelodeon has the rights to the Turtles, somebody please re-release the awesome NES, Genesis, and Super Nintendo Turtle games before I'm 40. Okay, that was interesting, wasn't it? Next up on our month-long series is the first portable Turtles game, Fall of the Foot Clan. And of course, the Turtles 2003 Game Boy Advance game. Meh. So tune in 2 weeks for another exciting and educational Turtles video game extravaganza. This is K-Wing as always saying God bless and happy gaming. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe. And until the next time, cue the theme music.